on crypto is Ellie Terrett, my producer.
She's on it.
She's the axe.
This morning, this is breaking news from Ellie. The SEC government is holding meetings today with the exchanges NASDAQ, CBOE, and the New York Stock Exchange to finalize comments on the 19B-4 submitted by the Bitcoin spot ETF issuers. So,
is there any chance this thing gets rejected today? Like, are we even at the 1% chance at this point, or I guess delayed more than rejected? I mean,
I hate to talk in percentages and I hate to make predictions because it just scares me, but I would be very surprised if we didn't see an approval today.
I mean, I don't think we would ever have guessed that the SEC Twitter account would have been hacked. We know that there was obviously a third party involved, an unknown individual who had access to the SEC account or the phone number associated with that account. So whether it was someone internally or someone externally, we don't know. The language is still pretty murky, and I'm wondering if we're actually ever going to figure out who or why or what happened.
We were all just blindsided. And I think not just journalists, but obviously the Bloomberg guys, everybody in the space, we couldn't really believe it. But then yesterday, when the website crashed, that was just, I mean, you couldn't write it any better. We were like, no way is this happening right now.
Breaking. And we did hear from Ellie Terrett, our producer here at Fox Business, who knows so much about crypto, that the Bloomberg terminals have a bunch of these, including yours, listed and ready to trade for tomorrow.
But have you heard these from sources yourself that they're looking to establish Ethereum ETFs pretty close to the announcement of approval of a Bitcoin ETF?
There are some ETFs, Ethereum spot ETF applications that have been filed already from some of the issuers that are going to list the Bitcoin spot. So that will obviously be the thing to watch next. However, we still don't really know how Gary Gensler feels about Ethereum, right? He's been kind of, that's the one question that Congress asks him all the time that he refuses to answer in the hot seat is Ethereum a security or not? So whether he's going to make it difficult because of how he feels about the certain asset, we'll have to see. But
they hold the market share right now, and I think they're betting that, there's this whole thing with capital gains tax. If you pull out of GBTC and you've been holding it for a while, you're going to pay like monumental capital gains tax by the time it takes for you to get into one of these other low fee ETFs. So it's interesting what they're doing. It's almost like, like headlines, like, okay, like we can provide the lowest fee, but in the long term, is that really going to help us with attracting customers, attracting flow?
Eleanor Terrett says, wowza, Vanguard doubling down on that anti-crypto business strategy. In addition to spot Bitcoin ETFs not being available for purchase on the Vanguard platform.
I read the statement, because we are approving this today does not mean that we're endorsing Bitcoin, and we still believe it's a vehicle for money laundering and scammers. Totally on brand, but you got to look at his actions. He was the deciding vote that made it a 3-2 vote from the SEC Commission that passed these things. So you got to look at actions.
Yeah. You want to know what's happening in the industry, Eleanor, certainly if you want to know what's happening with breaking news, she's my number one source.